Hello and welcome to GSU PantherZone, presented by Impact Media. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Wanted to get on here, especially with the first one, kind of introduce myself a little bit. I've been doing media for a handful of years, finally getting the opportunity to talk about your Georgia State Panthers. What a great time to be a fan. Seems like every team seems to be winning everything. Even the golf team are winning things. Not that the golf team's bad, but when all your teams all the cylinders are going like that, it's a fun time to be a part of PantherZone. Pretty much today, I'm going to go kind of recap the basketball team, talk some baseball, some football updates as well. You know, Family Day's coming up this Saturday. Should be a lot of fun. I'll be there for sure. Make sure you try to find me. With the hair, I should be pretty easy to find. I'll get more into Family Day here in a minute. But jumping right off the bat for basketball, you know, they were able to pull the upset in the first round, made it all the way into the second round of the NCAA tournament. That's after winning the Sun Belt title. That was really cool. I remember watching that game. I actually went back and watched it the other day. That's a fun game. These kids had a lot of special moments this year, especially thanks to Coach Ron Hunter. He blew his Achilles in that one. Battle, was able to find the scooter, that homemade scooter there that somebody made for him. Just created more special moments between him and his son RJ, who unfortunately is going to the NBA draft. And I say unfortunate because it would have been fun to have him for another year, but in RJ's case, I would go to the draft as well. To me, there's not much else for you to accomplish here besides an NCAA title. And, you know, it is what it is. Wish the best for RJ. He is projected in the first or second round. The last I've heard, things could change easily, but I would say there's a good chance he goes to a pretty good team. Wouldn't mind seeing him as maybe Atlanta Hawk. It'd be fun to keep him in town. But either way, wish the best for RJ. Look forward to catching up with him this summer and, just seeing where he's at in his training and everything. Like I said, second round of the NCAA tournament to beat the number 3 Baylor team. And it's not that Baylor wasn't prepared. GSU outplayed them. They just plain out outplayed them. I'm not sugarcoating it because this is a Georgia State show. When you get outplayed, I don't care if you're the number 1 team against the 645,000th team. If you get outplayed, you get outplayed. And that's exactly what GSU did. They outplayed, they out-hustled, they did the fundamentals. They play together as a unit, a lot better than Baylor. Baylor was taking things too lightly. Of course, they lost. GSU lost in the second round to number 6 Xavier, a team I've followed for years just because I kind of like the name. They are a good team, and that was just a pretty close battle as well. They hung right there with them. Could have went one way, could have went the other. I'm pretty happy with the way the team played, though. Sure, we all want to see them win every time, but I think they showed the rest of the country that this is a team you're going to have to look out for from here on out. As I mentioned, they did win the Sun Belt title versus Georgia Southern. Any day you can beat Georgia Southern is a good day. They like to hang it over people's heads when they win. I don't blame them. If I won things, I would tell a lot of people too, but yeah, sometimes you just kind of get tired of the same people winning. So, always good to put them in their place. Overall on the year, that left the Georgia State Panthers 25-10 overall, 15-5 in the Sun Belt. That's very respectable. They were 12-1 at home, 8-8 on the road. Something Ron Hunter will work on for the next coming years as well. And on neutral sites, they were 5-1. I think overall, that's a good season. I call that a good season. And I think some of their camps should be starting up maybe in the next month or so. I'll have more updates when I hear more about those. I know they have a lot of probably summer camps, and they like to work with the youth and things like that. So, sign up for your kids, your brothers, your sisters for these camps so that they can learn from some of the best in the state. And as we wrap up basketball, we'll go straight into baseball. Sometimes I will have convenient little props laying around. Actually, the bat that we have here at the studio is a little outside of my reach right now, so I can't pick it up. It does have some pretty good dings in it, probably from me not being able to hit very well, or some of the other people here. But regardless, do want to give a shout out to right-handed pitcher Nathan Bates of the baseball team, who got his second Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week award a couple weeks ago. The 6'7" junior took a no-hitter into the seventh in his first start. Had 7 scoreless innings of pitching in the second, and I've got to see 3 or 4. I got to see Kenny Anderson pitch. He's got good stuff. Nathan's got good stuff. Cole Vila. It's just fun watching those guys play. If you get a chance, go out and check them out. They'll be playing some games this weekend, especially part of Family Day. That's a game I'm going to try to be at, so that's another place you might could find me. Just, if nothing else, throw your hand up and go, hey, you're the random guy from the video. That would be me. Go over some of your season leaders at the moment. Right now, as far as wins, Logan Barnett, Wayne Wages, Nathan Bates, and Kenny Anderson all have 3 victories on the season. Your hits and runs leader is Ryan Blanton, who has 50 and 37 respectively. Home run leader is Matt Rose with 9. Matt is actually, I believe, in the top 3 in the Sun Belt Conference, maybe top 10 in the NCAA, something like that. Save leader is Kevin Burgee with 5. Ryan Blanton also has the best batting average at 377. I think that's pretty close to that. He may be a little higher than that. That was the last number I saw. RBI leader is Joey Roach with 31. Shout out to Joey because the game I got to attend a couple weekends ago, he actually won me a t-shirt, so I appreciate that. And let's see, your stolen base leaders, because there are 2. Caden Bailey and Ryan Blanton both have 4. And your ERA leader is the aforementioned Nathan Bates with a 2.49 ERA, earned run average. That's really good. You don't usually get that very well. I mean, as much in the collegiate environment because metal bats typically accelerate batting averages. Of course, that's just my opinion. Moving on. Your Georgia State Panthers are the Sun Belt Conference leaders at the moment. They're actually going to play Auburn a little bit later tonight. I think first pitch is a couple minutes from now. They are 19 and 14 overall, 8 and 2 in the Sun Belt Conference. And tonight's probable starters will be Marc-Andre Habeck, who is 3 and 4 with a 5.34 ERA. Against Auburn is throwing up Robbie Clements, 2 and 0 with a 2.70. I do believe his ERA will go up tonight. I smell a good. I'd like to hang 8 on him in the first 4 innings. Does that sound too plausible, too unpredictable, impossible? Insert your favorite word here. Either way, like I said, Family Day is coming up, and I will get into that here shortly when we come back from the break. You are watching Impact Media presents GSU PantherZone. And we're back here on Georgia State University Panther Zone, presented by Impact Media. Want to get into some sand volleyball highlights. Was able to go out and check out. These girls are amazing. Just they're absolutely just, to use a volleyball term here, they are killing people. The digs, the kills, the spikes, the aces. Man, it's amazing how much talent there is all on one team like this. They've done a great job on recruiting and getting this program really moving. Do want to give a shout out to sophomore Sarah Agnew, who reached out to me when I put out some feelers as far as doing my homework on covering volleyball, and she's been able to kind of educate me on some of the questions I had as far as some of the rules and some of the terminology and stuff like that, along with a lot of the rest of the team. Head coach Beth Van Fleet and assistant coach Kirsten Gallagher have done a tremendous job with these girls. Like I said, I'll get to that tournament here in a minute. Do want to tell you overall, if you want to see the girls in action, they unfortunately don't have any more home games at the current moment. This past Saturday was the last one, or this past weekend is what, rather, as it started on Friday, finished up on Saturday with the pairs tournament. If you want to see them this week, they are in Siesta Key, Florida for the Fiesta in Siesta tournament. Got to be one of the cooler sounding names for a tournament. And if my Spanish is correct, that would be the Party in the Nap City. My Spanish is really bad, and I apologize for that. As of right now, these girls are 18-1 overall in the season. They are still ranked number 7, with the only loss coming to the number 3 ranked team early in the year. They've won 13 in a row, I believe. Like I said, they are straight up just mauling people, and the domination that I saw Saturday when I was able to go check it out, definitely that's, if you get a chance to see these girls play, like I said, you're going to have to go to out of state and out of the city a couple times to see it, but definitely go check them out. These girls are really, really talented. Olivova and Button were the ones to seal the victory with wins over UAB and UL Monroe on Friday. The gold bracket winners were Murillo and Warren from the University of Charleston. Can't win them all. But the silver winners were Forspring and Interwees for GSU. Hope I said those correctly. If not, you can find us here. And correct me on that, because I do want to get it right. But like I said, these girls are super talented. I enjoyed watching them. I got to talk to some of them after and during the different contests, and just all outstanding people. They're really making GSU look good, not only with their athletics, but they're in the classroom work as well. So good luck to the girls at the Siesta and Fiesta, or the Fiesta and Siesta rather. Make sure I get that right. In Siesta Key, Florida. I know they'll represent GSU well. Moving on to what you guys are probably tuned in for. That's to hear about the pigskin. Of course, head coach Trent Miles, ready to plug in for another season. He's done a great job taking over as the second overall head coach. I like what he does. I was able to go to one of the press conferences last year, and just a super nice guy. Seems to enjoy really talking about his team and keeping the media motivated, as well as some of the players as well. Spring practices are underway, with kind of the culmination of all this being this Saturday for Family Day. Family Day, once again, I will get into in a second. Some of the returning people as of right now, some of the people you need to know. You got quarterback Nick Arbuckle, running back Marcus Caffey and Kyler Neal, wide receivers Donovan Harden, Linquez Payne, Robert Davis, Will Lutz is coming back, and I could be wrong with some of these. This is the information I had, though. Linebackers, Trey Payne, Joseph Peterson. You got the safeties, Taurus Batiste. You got Brian Williams and Jandon Sullivan. Like I said, all those guys put in some great work, and those were some of the bigger leaders on the field last year. Not all of them, just the ones we've mentioned real quickly. Didn't have time to mention them all, unfortunately. Like I said, This past Saturday, they did a scrimmage where the defense outdueled the offense. That's a good sign because the offense is still moving and still doing pretty well. It's just the defense is really starting to click early. That means we're going to be able to hold people under a lot of points, hopefully early on, so that when the offense starts clicking and some of these new guys, these new transfers that have come in, start to get their playing time, it should be smooth sailing. Decision making is key, especially for quarterback Nick Arbuckle. They are working on that. It's not that he makes bad decisions, but this is only a second year under this offense after transferring in from a junior college. They want to open the playbook a lot more for Arbuckle in his second year now, like I said. I think that's a good idea. Nick seems like a really bright kid, really knows what he's doing, likes to make those good transitions and good decisions. I think he should do well. The wide receivers this year are some of the tallest and fastest of any class, not just GSU, but man, there's talent level alone on this team. I've gotten a chance to check out some of them. Wow, just tremendous athletes. A lot of these wide receivers, besides being tall and fast, are good route runners, which is a good thing. In football, really, wide receivers do one of three things, and they really don't block all that much most of the time unless you got a good run game or a different, think Georgia Tech style. But that's one. The second thing they do is run routes, which are usually crossing routes in the middle of the field. And the third thing that they do, if they're fast, will run up the sideline for the go routes, which are usually just the longer plays, longer straight plays. Seems like these kids can do all three. So it should really help the offense as far as setting up the run game and eventually letting Nick take over and put a lot of points on the board. The season opener versus Charlotte is now officially, I don't think they have a time yet, but officially it's going to be on Friday, September 4th. And the final home game versus Troy is going to be Friday, November 27th. So far, no times on those yet, but as soon as I find out, I will let you guys know. Homecoming is going to be October 3rd versus Liberty, so go ahead and mark those on your calendar. They're already on the one here at the studio. Make sure you don't miss those because Friday night games should be a lot of fun, especially in the Dome. The Dome's a fun place. There's not really a bad seat, and it really is a home field advantage for the Panthers. Some other notes real quick. The safeties this year's crop of safeties is tremendous and just super full of talent. And the thing to look out for is in the NFL right now, the draft's not full of a lot of safeties, and there's not a lot of safeties that are available, good safeties, as far as trading for them or whatever. So the fact that there's a good crop of safeties here mean a lot of these kids may have a future in football outside of GSU once they're done playing here, once we hoist a couple trophies, obviously. Now to Family Day. I know I've been talking about it the whole time here. I'll finally give you the specifics and the rundown. Family Day. Here's the basic schedule. The parking lots are going to open for tailgating around 9, so get there early if you want to hang out. The football spring game starts at 12. After the spring game, you can meet and greet the players and coaches, which should be a lot of fun. I'm going to be there. Like I said, I'm going to do my best to go to as much of this as I can. So try to find me out there. Like I said, say hey. At 1 o'clock, the first game of the doubleheader, softball, the women are going to be playing against Appalachian State. At 2, baseball is going to have first pitch against UL Monroe at the other complex. Obviously, football, I believe football, softball, and soccer that I will get to in a minute is going to be at the first complex, and the baseball complex will be where the baseball game is. At 2:30, the men's soccer team is going to have a scrimmage against Thomas University. And at 3, the softball second part of the doubleheader will kick off against Appalachian State. Like I said, that's 3 o'clock. Men's soccer is going to have another scrimmage against North Georgia at 5:30. and that should take you through the rest of the day. So if you want to get there early and see football, softball, baseball, or if you want to get there a little later, maybe catch baseball, soccer, maybe softball, soccer, whichever you want to do. Look forward to seeing all you guys out there. I know the players are excited. I know the coaches are excited. Should be a good time. But that's going to do it for me this week. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the first ever. This week we were just in one part of our studio. They're still kind of putting together some things on the set. We're going to try to build some really cool things, maybe some interactive qualities. We'll get into that in the coming weeks. But I am Jeremy the Impact York. Thanks to Impact Media for allowing us to come on. If you want to find me on Twitter or Instagram at TheImpact99. If you want to contact the show at Team Impact Media. I think that's right. Yep, those are correct. So for Impact Media and GSU Panthers, we'll see you next time on PantherZone. Good night, Alice.